One of the most difficult things to teach for any offensive line coach, or actually any offensive player, is the ability to block people in the open field. And this cage drill, what we do is we take 4 dots, we try and get them about 10 yards apart, a 10-yard square, and sometimes you have to get them a little bit bigger, and we keep a guy, as you see right here, we have a guy that's one guy's outside the cage and another guy's inside the cage. The guy inside the cage has to move around and avoid the guy that's trying to knock him out of the cage. And what you're trying to emphasize in this drill is the ability to keep your feet apart with your pads down and your eyes up and your elbows and hands tight. Because the first thing guys want to do in the open field is grab and contain people. And we don't want to grab and contain you in the open field. You're probably a better athlete than us in the open field. All we want to do is assume good position and make you move, and that should be enough room to let the back run. Now, the whole key to this is a great conditioning drill, and usually it goes for 10 seconds. You time it for 10 seconds, and the guy in the cage, here comes number 76 outside the cage, the guy in the cage has to avoid. Now, see, he's not really doing a good job of avoiding. I want him to spin, be like a point guard in basketball. Avoid the guy that's trying to knock you out and stay in the cage. Now, and again, let's go back. The important part of it is the guy that's outside the cage and trying to knock you out of there is trying to get his pads down, trying to keep his elbows and thumbs tight, and trying to bend with his pads down with his eyes up. And it sounds like it's easy, but the common mistakes are hands outside, trying to contain, head goes down, okay, and feet cross over, okay, and you want to avoid those things in the open field. This is a great job, by the way, of Taylor Gadbois giving good effort and trying to grind the guy out of there, right? It's what football's all about, man. We're trying to give effort. Now we're trying to show you where here's actually going back the wing receiver, the right guard and the center. We all have examples of getting in the open field, okay? Now, you can see the wing receiver does a nice job of getting on the guy, and he's got his feet apart, and he's square, and his hands are tight. But then he doesn't finish and doesn't run his feet. And that could be the difference between a play breaking for 8 or 10 and getting out of there could be a difference in the game. Now, the center and the right guard, you see them, they're making connections, and now you got to move your feet, get them moving, create a hole. You know, it doesn't always mean that you're moving guys back towards the goal line and putting them on their back. It just means you're moving them and creating lanes for our backs to run in. Here's the right guard, obviously. He zone steps on a tight zone play. Actually, this is a wide zone. And you know, the defensive end works outside on our right tackle, so that puts him up on that linebacker, and now it becomes like an open field block. And he's engaging, and he falls off, and that's probably because he gets his feet crossed up. Because these guys, they're going to use their hands too, and they're going to throw you. So once you get connected, you have to work on your balance, and that's when it gets to your feet being apart and your weight being on your arches, so you have balance with your hands and feet working together. Now, that's a good job by him, though, as far as his connection with them. You know, you don't need a big-time hit or a big-time block.